Welcome back to another Blue Jackets game reaction in game 32 for Columbus. The Jackets losing in Nationwide Arena 6-3 on Saturday against the Devils. We found out after the Leafs game that Patrik Laine will be missing about 6 weeks with a broken collarbone. That's been par for the course for him for the last few years as far as sustaining long-term injuries for one reason or another. Daniil Tarasov got his first NHL game of the season in net after returning from his AHL conditioning assignment up with the Cleveland Monsters. The start obviously not going very well for him or for the Blue Jackets just in general. The Jackets currently carrying 3 goaltenders. Spencer Martin was the backup against New Jersey a couple days ago. Elvis Merzlikins was the healthy scratch. So we'll see how Pascal Vincent and the coaching staff, how they decide to manage the 3 goaltenders on the roster as far as who's going to be starting and backing up and spending some time in the press box. It'll probably be a bit of a rotating door there. The team kind of started where they left off in the third period against Toronto with laying an absolute leg. This is why I wasn't happy with the team even after they won in overtime against the Maple Leafs, where stuff like blowing a 5-0 lead over the course of a third period, that kind of sticks around and impacts the team moving forward. I know they can't just forget that they blew a 5-0 lead and just go with the binary result of, oh, we got to win, so we should feel better about ourselves. No, the team knows that they blew a 5-0 lead, and that's going to impact them down the road. And we saw that against the Devils, where it seemed like a collision course between this Jackets team being at an all-season low in terms of confidence in themselves, and then a Devils team that was very eager to flex their skill right from the get-go. Literally from the first minute of the game, it was going badly for Columbus, where you had Johnny Gaudreau feeding a really terrible cross-ice pass in his own zone right to Tyler Toffoli, who found a Jack Hughes behind everybody for a one-on-one shot with Tarasov, and he scored it. By the way, welcome back to the NHL, Daniil Tarasov. Here's Jack Hughes on a breakaway for your first shot against. Sorry about that one, buddy. And that wasn't the end of it for Tarasov in the first period as far as having to face some tough shots. The first 3 shots that Tarasov faced in this game were breakaway attempts, so he was not given any time to get comfortable back in the NHL in a Blue Jackets uniform in net. Devils very clearly the better team from the get-go in this one, tilting the ice in their favor for most of the first period. The Jackets did get a power play, but it went without a goal. And then in the final 5 minutes of the first, the Devils would increase their lead after Haula was left all alone in the left circle, eventually found by Dawson Mercer. 2-0 Devils. First period ending pretty dejectedly for Columbus. But they did begin the second on the abbreviated power play that they earned very late in the first, and Kirill Marchenko was found open and was able to get the Jackets on the board. It's a 1-2 game, so you're thinking, okay, maybe they can overcome this rough start. And by the time I finished that sentence, Tyler Toffoli making it a 3-1 game less than 30 seconds later, and that's one where, yeah, Tyler Toffoli was open on that shot, but you'd like to see Tarasov kind of make that save as far as what he's been being touted as the goaltender of the future. Maybe you want to see Tarasov kind of bail the defense out a couple more times than he ended up doing in this one. But the Jackets, they got some zone time midway through the second. Chinakhov throwing a puck to the net. It goes off of a defender, takes a few wicked bounce, and it goes past Akira Schmid to make it a 1-goal game once again. So that was definitely a bit of a fluky goal, but Chinakhov is a hot goal scorer right now. He's scored in 4 straight games as of recording this. A bit of a weird sequence where it takes some bounces and just finds its way past the goaltender, but you'll take a 1-goal game when you were down 2 any way that you can take it. Then there's a bit of a strange sequence where Goodbranson's hit with a tripping call, but then when Akira Schmid goes to put the 6th skater on, he ends up playing the puck past the center red line, which is a penalty, resulting in a 4-on-4. During that 4-on-4, Werenski holds Michael McLeod, giving New Jersey a 4-on-3 power play. So in less than 2 minutes, you have a goalie playing the puck over the center ice, resulting in a penalty, and then a 4-on-3 power play for the Devils. So a couple of things that you don't really see in NHL hockey games all that much happening in very quick succession. But that 4-on-3 power play does not last long. Jack Hughes scoring his 2nd goal of the night right off of the faceoff. That 2-goal lead is restored before the end of the period. That was essentially the dagger goal. I know a 2-goal deficit after 2 periods definitely isn't insurmountable. Trust me, the Blue Jackets know all too well about leads in the third period, but it did feel like the Devils were just operating on a whole different level than what the Jackets were trying to do a couple nights ago. Any hope of a comeback was dashed pretty early in the period, where you had Bratt making a great play to keep the puck in the Jackets zone for New Jersey, skating it right up the middle for what looked like a one-on-one with Tarasov, but he slid the puck over to a wide-open Hischier, who had a yawning cage. That made it 5-2 Devils, and that pretty much wrapped up the game. Now the Jackets would go empty net, Texier getting a consolation goal on the 6-on-5. And just when you think, well, maybe they can end this game on a bit of a good note, but they scored a goal when they didn't really have any chance of winning, so they're still keeping the fight up. Jack Hughes hitting the empty net goal to complete his hat trick, and that is how we get to the 6-3 final. It feels like reality is starting to sink in on the season for everyone involved with the Blue Jackets, where we're getting close to the halfway point of the season, and it hasn't really gotten a whole lot better in terms of just being able to get consistent good results. And there are still, even when they won, again, like in the Maple Leafs game, they won that game, but it was still embarrassing blowing a 5-0 lead in the third period. I feel like the players are starting to go through the motions just a little bit. There are reports saying the Jackets might be trading some guys off. I saw one quote that said maybe they could be listening on pretty much anyone at this point. You have the NHL insider Elliot Friedman saying that the organization and Elvis are open to a change of scenery for him. Not necessarily that anybody's going to be traded right now, but just that the Jackets and Merzlikins are in talks about, maybe in the offseason they get a trade going. Who knows? Most of the fans have abandoned any hope of even competing for a playoff spot weeks ago at this point. And given what we heard from ownership right before the season after the Mike Babcock disaster, where they basically said the reason we're keeping the front office around is because they could still make the playoffs and achieve their goals this season. That's looking like it's pretty much gone and out the window. We're probably going to be looking at a new front office leading the way this offseason, and probably there should be one sooner than that. There probably should have been one a few weeks ago, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, at least the Russian line is working, right? Another good game for the Marchenko, Voronkov, and Chinakhov line, but not a whole lot else going for the Blue Jackets against the Devils on Saturday. They play against the Sabres tomorrow, so the Sabres kind of having a bit of a rough season, but definitely falling under their expectations of where they wanted to go this season so far. Maybe the Jackets can try to rebound against them, but I feel like the Sabres might be thinking that's probably a game we should win as well. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be it for me in this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far into it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and like to see more like it. You can let me know down in the comments below what you thought about this game and how the Jackets could do anything to make anybody feel any better about themselves in the near future down in the comments below. But once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next one.